In case you missed it, several OTF members have been passing away, it was announced. Durk's day one homie Gleesh passed away last night in Chicago, which resulted in a viral comment reading, "Has anyone heard from OTF Jam after he snitched on Durk?" Several OTF gang members dying, but low-key, he's been gone for months, as he was outed for being a snitch on DJ Vlad's show.
There's a guy named OTF Jam.
That was wired.
Very ironic name.
Jam
now he put everyone in the jam.
Did 12 years.
12
got
years.
out, interviewed, said he kept it real, brought him cars, gave him 50,000.
Right.
This. Made mention that ain't no smut on his name. He ain't never been a rat. Caught a gun case, but eventually he flipped.
As once this happened, news headlines read, OTF Jam found by OTF members, hiding out in a crib outside of Atlanta. Sources claim Jam was dealt a punishment for snitching on Durk. Alongside a photo of the scene outside of the house Jam was staying at, but no one's heard from him since. This is because of evidence that Jam provided to the police. With it reported, over 230 gigs of digital evidence, which includes audio recordings, video surveillance, and 20,000 pages of reports, are currently being processed for discovery, as it was Jam who gave them the evidence. From the evidence Jam gave, they're now trying to get Durk on 2 more murder-for-hire charges. With court updates reading, the feds believe Durk paid to get these 2 people dealt with. The first is Stefan Mack, who got Durk's brother DeDe, and the second is Jam's baby mom, who passed after Durk found out Jam was wearing a wire. Feds think OTF Jam is the key to putting Durk in jail for all 3 crimes, as this Instagram live is when OTF noticed Jam was wearing a wire, because Jam was seen holding the top of his jacket, whispering into it.
Hey, kid! Give me the check on your man. I heard you got his head. Hey. I ain't gonna lie, man. Hey, when I was growing up, I don't have a dare. Architect. What happened to dare? Schools had stuff down.
However, months before being arrested, Durk knew Jam was acting strange. It was announced Durk has been playing 3D chess this entire time. He knew OTF Jam was gonna cooperate.
I see shit from a mile away.
I don't think people realize that.
I could have a conversation with you for 5 seconds and know your is gonna cooperate.
But Durk spoke more about it and how he let no one to his house in the year before he was arrested, as he tried to limit the information anyone had on him.
Nobody is ever allowed to my house. It be my best friend never been in my house.
For real?
I promise.
Your best friend?
Promise. Like, it's people like that I just don't allow around my girl and my kids, cause it's like I'm just a different type. I'm not the. We can have family night at Durk house tonight. It's the.
You gotta watch. Everybody at Durk's crib.
Yeah, we gotta. Everybody getting watched. We gotta watch everybody. Hey, you go too. They go too close to them kids. You know what to do. Like, that's how I play. Like, I don't play.
But Jam's the same guy who Durk gifted $50,000 to as a celebration of his release from jail. But Jam proceeded to snitch on the people in the background.
You know what's his name, bro? Steady crying, huh? He steady crying. Feed him. Feed him. Get in the milk, bro. Get in the milk so baby mama get the tripping, bro.
See that?
Feed
for my
him.
baby. That's really how y'all hold y'all babies, ain't it? I gotta hold my money like this. It's too much. Crazy though. Motherfuckers sitting up there doing all this. Sneak this and the internet games and all this. Up some money, do something. Like, we winning, bro. I can do whatever it is I want to do, I can do it. Just buy what I want, do what I want. Y'all can't do that, bro. Goof
Bro got out what?
You know that
How many you did it all?
How many years I did it now?
Yeah, that's your last bit. 12?
12.
That boy popped out 12 years. So much money. We really was just getting in order to just figure out the lanes, man, boy.
As the feds investigated the people in the background and realized it's the same suspects who took out Lil Pab, and they also went shopping with King Von back in the day.
Solitary
Hey,
stone.
we just looked at him, man.
Let's go over there.
What up, bro?
Boss, you good? My boy.
Let's go.
They got real in here, man, because he just stepped in. The money man just stepped in.
But to gather further evidence on the Stefan Mack passing, the prosecutors found this Instagram story of Durk saying, "For DeDe," which was posted 30 minutes after Stefan Mack passed away. And to go with the Instagram story, Durk was laughing on livestream the next day.
You can't see other shit. What? Tweak on the folks. Hey, somebody always said, it's live car. Somebody always said, it's live car.
But Durk's lawyers pushed this aside while they tried to get him a release date from jail. As it's important to note, we got an update from his father on the situation reporting. Words from Durk's father have Durk being released on bond. With this being his third attempt, his lawyers made an offer so great the judge can't refuse it.
I just left the courtroom for the bond hearing for my son for the release for the third time. This time it was very fair. The judge was very fair. He wasn't pro-prosecutor, he wasn't pro-defense, but he was pro-justice. So he listened to all the evidence, and he's gonna give a ruling in the next few days about what his position is for the bond. But we were very pleased at how it turned out. So continue, family, friends, and fans, continue to keep us in your prayers, and we thank you. And inshallah, God willing, this be victorious for us, that we have a good ruling in our favor.
The judge took 4 days to make his decision, but sadly denied the bond because Durk's too rich. With it announced, the feds say Durk would need to go completely broke and give up all of his property to be granted bond, as they fear he might use his fortune to place bounties on witnesses.
No bond for Lil Durk. Let me tell you about what options he has left and why the bond was denied this time. Now, he's in federal court on a murder for hire charge where he faces the possibility of life in prison. What that means is, under the federal law, it is presumed that you do not get a bond because the charge and the penalty are so serious. So your lawyer has to go out there and show why you should get a bond. Now, ultimately, what the district judge decided to deny the bond on was a couple of factors. There's a couple $1 million being put up, but it's not all being put up by Durk. Some of it is from the label, and ultimately Durk has a lot more money and assets than what's being put up. So if I let him out on bond and he tries to flee, he's gonna have tons of assets and money at his disposal.
But there was a tweet that went around after Durk was denied his bond, with it reading, "If you think Durk was denied bond because he's rich, you know nothing about this case. DeDe's brother literally just snitched on all of OTF, and instead of making it public, they're hiding it to catch Durk's lawyers by surprise." But the evidence files leaked, and it was written. The new Ted body cam footage of him begging to snitch against Durk and OTF members has changed this case. Durk's lawyers submitted paperwork for an extended time on their bond proposal, which raises the question, what did Ted say to the feds? Because Ted is also known as OTF DeDe's brother, who is Durk's main hitter. Ted would be one to know a lot about the inside of OTF, which is why it was bad when Ted got picked up by police for a firearm.
Really? Dude had a. What about that? A man had a with an extended clip. That's cool though, right?
But while Ted's still being driven to the police station, he gets out of the car with tears streaming down his face as he told the police, "I swear I'll tell you all about the murders," as he was afraid of spending time in jail.
Come on. Hey, stop it. Stop it.
I swear to God, I tell you, I will tell you, please, I swear, please.
But as he sat in his waiting cell, Ted's freaking out as he's bawling his eyes out, wanting nothing more than to just rat on murderers he knows and be taken out of jail.
Wait, hold on, you gotta relax for me, because I can't understand it. Relax. What's the number? 7 what you saying, man?
We're gonna see what we can do for you, alright?
We're gonna see what we can do for you. You gotta relax for me.
Relax, man. I'm gonna get a bus to prison. Relax.
Give me No, I'm saying, what are you talking about? I'm trying to get that.
And with Ted being arrested, it made even more sense on why OTF DeDe's last name was reported in court paperwork as a witness, as everyone realized it was Ted doing the snitching and not DeDe. But this started the rumor of King Von's cousin, OTF Vonnie, snitching also, which is when OTF Bezu tried to control the situation.
No motherfucker know what's going on, but them people that's in them courtrooms, man. For real. Them be false accusations. Y'all don't even know what the be going on for real. Y'all really be trying to play Inspector Gadget and all this. Y'all just be weird as hell. That's what I be talking about, man. Like, first y'all that threw the jams rumors out there. Now y'all talking about Vonnie a snitch, gang. A snitch on what? Y'all don't even really know what's going on for real. My kids, y'all really just be running. And that's why I don't participate in nothing that got to do with nothing illegal. Because of you motherfuckers, y'all be trying to get them put under the jails.
But this is where it gets crazier, as DJ Academic spoke about OTF Vonnie snitching, causing major confusion.
When you see Flacco post something,
You almost gotta be like, look at this headline. Lil Durk found out his co-defendant OTF Vonnie, King Von cousin, filed for protective custody when they came to court. Okay. That sounds so crazy. This is why we have streams like this. This is, you know, I'm not gonna get on anybody or anything like that, and I'm not gonna ever say that I haven't, you know, maybe jumped the maybe once in a while, but I definitely do aim to be correct, and I never try to be incorrect out of malice, right? This is why we love to bring up the paperwork and try to explain it, and also increase everyone's knowledge on stuff, because a lot of times these days the headline is way better than the story.
Although Durk had one last chance of being released as the prosecutors started tearing apart their evidence.
The other allegation they backed away from, which is huge, it shows the weakening of the case. Previously, the prosecution had alleged that Durk paid the bounty for the through one of his co-defendants, and they named the co-defendant. Now they've backed off that allegation. They're not actually saying that Durk paid the bounty through the co-defendant or anyone else. And the fact that they're not saying that suggests that previously they thought they were going to be able to prove that he paid the bounty through this guy, and now they know we're not going to be able to prove that he paid the bounty through this guy.
The case is getting weaker for the prosecutors, as they had to admit some of the lyric evidence they had against Durk was recorded before the murder even happened.
The case is as follows. So there was an indictment that did not name him, right? It named others, and then there was an unindicted person. And then 3 weeks later, that indictment was what's called the first superseding indictment, and it does name him. The indictment was identical, except the unnamed person now became Durk Banks. And this is the really important part, Ak. The second indictment, what's called the first superseding indictment, only had one new fact. It had one new fact, and that was it alleged that there was a video by Durk that celebrated and monetized this.
But with the case looking a bit better for Durk, Drew said they're going the distance in the case. They refuse to take a plea deal.
You know, likelihood of a plea. I think a lot of people have seen, like, this seems like it's a do or die thing. This is kind of like it's gonna be like a 1 or 0 type of situation. You're either are or you're not. Is Durk, from your understanding, or you as a lawyer right now, as his criminal attorney, are you open to possible conversations about plea deals? Are you thinking, no, we're going all the way? Would you entertain it, just entertain it, because that's your job to listen to it and maybe present it to Durk, or that's just off the table?
It's a conspiracy commitment case. It's an all or nothing case, and he did not participate in a conspiracy to commit. And so there is no alternative. It's a life sentence, potential life sentence. So this case is going to go to 12 people.
But they're going for one specific reason, which is the First Amendment violation they're keeping in their back pocket, which explains everything that Durk does online and in music is to express his First Amendment rights.
There's a First Amendment argument here, right? That this violates the First Amendment. Can you talk about that?
Right, for sure. I mean, I'm expressing myself. I can say the things that I want to say in a rap record or any kind of record. And you could go back and there's country records and there are pop records and there are R&B records that talk about all kinds of things. It's just that there's this notion that with hip hop, quote, glorifying violence, that suddenly now we're going to use these things to prosecute them. But does that mean that the free speech, the First Amendment has gone away? No, absolutely not. He can absolutely rap about what he wants to rap about, and that doesn't mean just because the story is violent.
But lawyers think it's a decent case for Durk's freedom, saying that he'll be released from jail like how Young Thug was.
We've seen it happen quite a bit. I don't know that I'd say it's been persuasive. I think the biggest example we'd look at is Young Thug. Down in Atlanta. They took a lot of his lyrics, and even though technically speaking, ultimately they got a conviction, he actually walked out on time served. Most of the people that were prosecuted didn't end up being convicted, and I don't think anybody would call that prosecution a successful prosecution. And so, you've got freedom of speech issues. Does it mean that just because I'm saying something in a rap song, it typically is a rap song, Does that mean that I actually did something? And this is an extra interesting twist here because Lil Durk's attorney is saying, well, this song was actually released months before.
As the lawyer also explained that prosecutors don't understand rap culture and it could be used to help Durk's case.
Yeah, and I'll go out on a limb and say that sometimes prosecutors don't necessarily understand hip hop culture. It's almost like a text without context. So you got to really understand the time, the place, the audience. Sometimes they might speak in ways that seem direct to somebody that's outside of the culture, but doesn't necessarily, but can mean several things to someone inside the culture. So it would certainly be a flub, big time, right? But it wouldn't be the first time that such a thing has happened where somebody looking through the window, particularly of hip hop culture, doesn't understand what's being said other than their desired use of it.
Although the feds know one thing, which is a lot of rappers are connected to each other. Because when Brick Baby got arrested, the news reported at the same time, prosecutors delayed Durk's chance of being released on bond to gather last-minute evidence against him for the next hearing. Chatter of a new snitch is going around the courtroom, because in the same week it was announced Big U, Brick Baby, Loose Cannon, and others all arrested in a Rollin' 60s gang takedown. As lawyers shared, they believe Brick Baby will snitch on Durk, but the crazy thing is that Brick Baby could be the reason the feds looked in Durk's direction for the crime, because Brick Baby said 3 years ago, you can't say Durk never slid for Von because they got Pab. As we saw Brick Baby react to the old interview when Durk was arrested.
But was this an attempted hit or
you can't say that no more.
Then they put you as
Why?
God.
Like, you died.
You can't say that no more.
Oh, because of FBG Cash? Oh, who?
Federal charges in California.
Nah, because Lul Pab.
So this is about the...
Oh! What's that?
But I'm just saying, they just say you can't say that no more.
But did you know Brick Baby also said something even worse? The feds brought up Durk's evidence of, told me they got an Addy go, they got the location go, which they connected it to, Brick Baby says that he would have dropped Quando Rondo's location if Durk had asked.
Why is that? Then it's people like, you lined up somebody from your hood. Like, listen, I didn't. But at the end of the day, what's wrong with giving my friend the address? Oh, this is my boy. He lost his boy. Who did it could be around. 9 times out of 10, had he asked me, I probably would have been coke if he even asked anybody, if this is even true. But 9 times out of 10, like I said, can I leak a bar?
Sure.
I said if he make the call right now, I'd up it.
Right.